Kilo Bravo 8 Whiskey Echo Tango.
Roger there, and what's the name?
Roger there, and what's the name?
Tim, Tango India Michael, Columbus, Ohio.
Roger, Tim, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Roger, Tim, and what radio are you running today, sir?
Yaesu FT DX-1200, and I was just wondering, on the ALC, I don't know how that works. Can you explain it to me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Matter of fact, why don't we run through some procedures there prior to that, and then we'll touch on that also. First thing is to be sure that radio is running in the TBC wide configuration. That is 100 to 2900. You have options there, and what we're suggesting is that you opt for that 100 to 2900. That lets your transmitter be all that it can be, and then gives you just a slice of daylight before you're into somebody else's conversation. So the TBC we're looking for is wide, 100 to 2900, Roger.
Wide, 100 to 2900, Roger.
I'm not sure I know where to get that.
Okay, it'd be in, your wrench and hammer settings, transmit, sideband, coming up in that area.
Sideband, coming up in that area.
Are you familiar with this radio, this 1200?
Not really, sir. No, I'm just saying, generally in your manual, in your, area, it's in settings, transmit, and short sideband, and then into your TBC. And that, well, I tell you what, why don't you just take a note that you want to put your radio, make sure your radio is in that 100 to 2900 transmit bandwidth. So you'll just, look that up and get it in there. But that allows your transmitter to be all that it can be, and then gives you just a slice of daylight before, you're disturbing somebody else's conversation. Roger?
You're disturbing somebody else's conversation. Roger?
Roger, I've been writing this down. I got it down here. Now, tell me about this ALC. That's something to do with the audio or the drive. How's that work?
Yes, sir. I'll tell you that in just a minute. I want to go on with the setup procedure, and you take notes. Following the TBC adjustment, then you would be into your compressor, and processor, and we want that at a 3. It's a very limited amount. Nobody will ever hear it really on the air, and that's why we chose it. It's nice. It doesn't pump. So 3 on your compressor processor. That's a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100, and we're headed towards that ALC, Roger?
Out of 100. And we're headed towards that ALC, Roger?
Okay, I got this all wrote down.
Yes, sir. Okay, now let's move to that ALC. Now, the ALC meter is showing the output from your limiter as far as the flow goes on your radio. So what we want to do is, as we say the word audio, we have our hands on the mic level control, and we adjust the mic level control until the ALC meter is running 2/3. 2/3 on the ALC meter. As you say the word audio, you become a human test generator, and you adjust your mic level until your ALC meter is running 2/3. Roger?
Until your ALC meter is running 2/3. Roger?
Okay, Roger on that. And that will, determine the amount of audio that you're hearing, or the RF that you're hearing?
Well, it's both. I mean, when it becomes sideband, it is RF audio. But that adjustment on your mic level sets your modulation correct. And the sweet spot on the ALC meter is 2/3. So we want to try to keep our audio in that 2/3 area. And what we suggest is that sometimes you just keep that ALC meter out so you can see it, and you've got to have something to do as you talk to your friends and neighbors around the world. So what you want to do is be looking at that ALC meter and try to keep your voice in the sweet spot of 2/3 on that meter. Roger?
In the sweet spot of
2-3.
I believe I got that figured out. That should be right where it is now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And let me hear you now. Why don't you tell me the best thing you like about your radio for about 10 or 15 seconds?
The best thing you like about your radio for about 10 or 15 seconds.
I like it because it's so...
I'm sorry, I needed a little bit more time. I got 6 or 7 things to consider here as far as antenna inputs and audio. So if you could, ask about 15 seconds so you tell me about your radio and what you really like about it.
Tell me about your radio and what you really like about it.
Well, all right. I think it's pretty good radio.
Seems to be doing a pretty decent job with a homemade antenna up there that's probably putting out about 100 watts now, maybe somewhere in that vicinity. And that's probably enough time for you to figure out what's going on with this radio.
Yes, sir. I've got you on my local antenna, which is a 7300 on the dipole. And do you know how to get to your EQ page, your tone control page on that radio?
Tone control? No. I know how to get to the tone level.
The equalizer? Do you know how to get to the equalizer?
Oh, yeah. I got that. I can get that.
All right. So just remember now, you will be in the P set of controls on that equalizer. P set of controls on your equalizer, probably, Roger?
Yeah, hold on, let me write that down.
It's a P set of controls because what happens is when you hit the processor running, then you switch to another EQ bank, the P bank of equalizer controls. And I don't know why that is. I mean, whatever. But it's a trap for a lot of folks because they don't realize that, they just switch to equalizers when they hit their compressor processor. But therein lies the truth, Roger?
Roger, I got it turned off right now. I just don't even have it turned on.
What is that you don't have it turned on?
The processor. Now see the mic equalizer switch here too.
Yes, sir. Okay, but see, we just went through and set up that compressor processor for 3. So you want to leave that on. Your compressor processor is on at a 3. Roger?
I don't know. Let me turn it on. Turned on. It's turned on now. Did it make any difference?
Roger, now we have to be so very careful because we talk about a lot of different things now. What is it that you just turned on?
The mic equalizer.
Yes, sir. Okay, do you have the compressor processor on? That was the original thing that we told you to put on a 3 out of 10 or 30 out of 100. Do you have your compressor processor on?
No, but I can turn it on real quick.
All right, well, that's where it needs to be, Sir Roger.
Okay, there it is.
Okay, so now you're on the P set of EQ controls. Roger?
I don't know where it would say that. It doesn't say that anywhere.
Yes, sir. Do you have, what kind of an equalizer do you have, sir? Is it like a 3-band with 6 different controls?
No, I don't see any controls for the processor. It's either on or it's off.
Yes, and well, there's an input level control for your compressor processor, and it should be on a 3. I would think. I mean, most things do have an input level control of some kind or another. So, what you're saying, you just have a switch. You don't have a level control for the input to your compressor processor.
It don't show one. I'm sure it's got it, like you're saying. I have to get the manual out and do it with the manual.
Yes, sir. Okay, we'll just make a note to do that then. And so we're into that equalizer, and what I'm looking for is just a little more treble boost on your microphone equalization, like about 3 clicks boost, treble EQ from where you are. Roger?
Roger, let me write that down. You go so fast I can't keep up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got my cadence set for mid-America, sir. You should hear them up north. You go, and down south, it's like this. I try to seek a middle cadence, Roger.
I hear you.
But any time that I'm going too fast, just say so and I'll slow down.
Well, I'm not real quick. I'm 85 years old, you know.
Hey, well, gosh, not too far behind you.
Yeah, my better days have come and went.
Well, I have come to the conclusion that as long as you can make it vertically around, that's a hell of a lot better than just being horizontal, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you mean, and I've been both places. You have a little English accent. European?
No. Florida originally, and North Carolina. I've been through it, but I am like a voice connoisseur of folks. I really, really love those guys down in the hills of Tennessee, man. That was one of my great things. One time I built antennas, UHF and VHF antennas. I call them the Amish antennas because they were mainly made out of wood. They were like 8-foot booms. I made a VHF 7 element and a UHF 14 element, 8-foot long. Put one on one side and one on the other side, and a rotor in the middle, and away we go.
But did it work?
Why, of course, and the thing was that I was using like 1/8-inch steel rods instead of these big aluminum thick jobbers. And what happens is you're talking about a gain, and it has to do with the smaller the elements, the higher the gain. And so on any good day, I was about 6 to 7 dB hotter than anybody else building antennas. And I would do, it's nice to be able to go out to one end of the band and the other end of the band on VHF, but most of that stuff is right towards the middle of the band. So I did peak my antennas for dead center of the frequency, and like I say, I was 78 dB hotter than anybody. I had what was called the Big Mama Banger, and I forget how many elements this thing had, but it was the 20-25 feet boom, and I would on any day be able to get a better signal on my Amish antenna than them. Roger?
Roger. Well, you sure got a good signal in here to Columbus, Ohio, that's for sure.
Roger. Now, so what's going to happen is when you get to that EQ, you're going to pump up the treble, and I'll give you some other parameters just in case you might have these possibilities in your equalizer. If you have the ability to shape the width of that treble boost, we want that on a 4. So that would be a 4 width if you have that adjustment within your capabilities. Roger?
Roger on that. I'm writing this all down, and I'll get this manual out, and I'll figure out what's going on.
Yes, sir. And the other thing is the frequency. If you have the ability to put in the frequency of that treble EQ push, we want that frequency to be ideally 2.7 kilohertz. 2.7 kilohertz is the ideal push frequency for treble EQ. So, and then three clicks above what you're currently running, it would be the level.
Okay, I got it wrote down.
Yes, sir. Now, there's a couple of other parameters about that equalizer. We want to be sure that mid equalizer control is in the off mode, if you have an individual off mode for that, or plus or minus 0, because what we want to do is keep that mid-range flat. So flat would be plus or minus 0, or off or out of the circuit. Roger?
Roger.
All right, then down to your bottom end, your base control. We want that, if you can adjust it, we want that on 200 cycles minus 6. 200 cycles minus 6 with a width of 4 again. So it's a width of 4 minus 6, and the frequency is 200. Roger?
Got it.
All right, sir, and I think that should do you pretty well. And if you get a chance, check back with us next week, and we'll listen to all them numbers, and I think it'll be great. Roger?
All right. If I get this all figured out, I'll be back next week. Thanks for the information and the guidance. KB8WET clear.
Roger, Tim. And one other question. What kind of mic is that you're running?
A D104.
Amazing. It sounds really good for a D104. Usually they're like sheet tin. So you must have a built-in preamp on that D104?
Yes, sir, I do.
Yes, sir. So what you want to do is to make sure that your inboard mic control level is at a 4 or 5. 4 or 5 on your internal mic level control, and then adjust the difference in your outboard gear. And what that does, it allows the input level to be at a good level that you can plus or minus without any distortion. So that's when we say a minimum level on your internal mic control of a 4 or 5, and then adjust whatever you need to on your outboard gear, so that when you say audio, that ALC meter is running in the sweet spot of 2/3. Roger?
Okay. Okay. That I don't know. How am I going to get that to be able to see what that control is doing?
Okay, so you put your radio volume, your radio mic volume control, put it on 5. All right, and then be looking at your ALC meter as you key and adjust your outboard gear. You probably have a screwdriver adjust or a knob adjust or what, but to turn your outboard gear down until when you say audio, you're running in the sweet spot. Roger?
Roger. Now, I don't have any audio when I put it on 5, do I?
I'm sorry?
So I just turned it down to 5 and was trying to talk to you, and there was nothing there.
On your mic level control, you should be right in the middle of your mic level. Well, let me ask this: how is your mic level control specified? Is it 0 to 10, 0 to 100, or what?
Let me look.
Because if it's 0 to 5, then but let's see what it is.
It will go all the way to 100.
All right, so we want to be on 50. We're talking about half level. So 50 on your mic level control, Roger?
Okay, let me write this down.
So that's 50 on your internal mic gain control, Roger?
Internal, you're referring to the radio, or you're referring to the microphone?
I'm referring to the radio, your internal mic control on your transceiver.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know.
Yes, sir. So once you get a 50, once you get 50, then I want you to key up and look at your ALC, and as you say the word audio, adjust your outboard level control until you're in the sweet spot. Roger?
That's probably overmodulating right now.
Yes, sir. So you need to turn your outboard gear down until, as you say the word audio, don't stress it, just say it, audio, and adjust your external mic level control to where you're in the sweet spot of 2/3 on the ALC meter.
Okay, I'm doing that right now. I'm bringing it on down. Is that getting better?
Oh, yes, sir. You've got it going on now. And see, that way, running a 50 on your mic level control on the internal control on your radio, it gives it a lot of room to avoid any distortions. It's minimally, it's in a good position for your external gear to operate with. Roger?
Roger on that. It might still be a little bit hot. Let me get your opinion.
That sounded mighty good.
All right, I think I'll leave it there.
Yes, sir, I would do that. And so tell me about your antenna system again, and let me listen to your audio.
That's a homemade wire GR-V5. It's a homemade wire GR, And it's 50 feet up in the air, and it's the ends are going north and south from Columbus.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boy, I'll tell you, Tim, I don't think you need to worry about the EQ. Your curve just is beautiful, and it is 3 dB dynamic range, which means that your average percent of peak modulation is 80 to 85%. So as far as the EQ, don't worry about that. You're just perfect, Roger, and you're perfect. I think you're just perfect everywhere. So if you want to hear it, if you go to YouTube and do a call letter search for Kilo Charlie 9 Victor Kilo Victor, followed by the word logbook, that will take you to this recording. It'll be cut number 1 in a series of 3,500, and I'll have it uploaded to YouTube by noon tomorrow. Roger?
Well, Roger on that. I'll certainly try to do that. That'd be interesting. Well, all right. I thank you for your time and your patience with me, and it's been enjoyable, and I'll figure this all out. Of course, you gave me a lot of studying to do, and I got to figure out all this, but it's good to know.
Yes, sir. Now, I had a dissertation I wanted to do, and well, it has to do with microphones, and it has to do with the element in the microphone, and it has to do with voices. And how you make voices, how a human makes voices. You have a voice box that starts, a certain tonality, and then it comes up in your mouth, and your mouth, as you move your mouth, you form the words. And the thing is, though, here's this microphone with an element in it, and what it's looking for primarily is the sound of your voice. It wants to reproduce the sound of your voice, which is, by the time it gets to that mic element, it is vibrations, and also mixed with that are wind velocities that the mouth makes as it makes these words. Sometimes the wind velocities are 4 times, 5 times hotter than the actual word. So here's this microphone that has to choose where the voice is versus what to do with all these wind currents that are headed into it, and is it his responsibility to translate all these large wind currents into electron pulses along with the voice. So sometimes you can work a microphone in such a way that you are generating more QRM than you are actual words. And what I'm getting at is that sometimes, if I were to tell you for $5 you could buy a filter that would take out all of that stuff, $5. You can't even buy a cup of coffee for $5, but $5 for a foam windscreen that goes over your microphone that filters out all these large velocity wind currents and just leaves the words for that microphone to deal with. Roger?
Yeah, but what does it do about the temperature variations? I'm quite sure temperature also affects that.
No, not much. Not much, really, that I know of, and there wouldn't be any reason. Now, you have all kinds of mic elements. You have dynamic mic elements, and you have electret mic elements, and obviously electret elements are going to be more sensitive and would derive much more with a windscreen than the dynamic mic. The dynamic mic would not be as subject to tracking wind velocities than would be a electret microphone, because they are so sensitive. Electret microphones are just, I love them. You're listening to one right now, electret microphone. They're such a beautiful top end, Roger.
Roger on that. It does sound really good. Sounds very good, as a matter of fact. Well, all right, I'm going to let you go. I got to run there and take care of some other businesses. A lot of work. But thanks a lot again. I do appreciate your time and effort, and the learning curve that I just increased a little bit. So thanks again. KB8WET clear.
Roger, Tim. 73, sir. You have a great afternoon, a beautiful weekend. And if you get a chance, join us next Friday, and we'll listen to those new numbers that you're going to crank in. 73. This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog net. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.